Well, hey guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at something a little different. This is the Lionel O-Scale Big Boy Locomotive. We're going to pull this out of the box here right away. This is Bluetooth equipped. I don't know if we'll have time to get in Bluetooth because if you didn't notice, I didn't spring an O-Scale layout up overnight. I'm actually borrowing an O-Scale layout from somebody, so we'll be taking a look at this locomotive once I get this giant box out of the other box. Alright, we're going to lift the lid off. And there is the locomotive. Now this is a Union Pacific Legacy Big Boy. It's 4014. It's the first run edition. Now what that means is they have replicated some details on this locomotive to match up with the first run of the 4014 Big Boy. So you simply remove the Lionel wrapping, and I'm not used to this size, but it's very heavy. Little T-Rex arms are not used to this, but there is the locomotive and tender. Also in the box is a smoke deflector and some other accessories. Looks like a coupler pocket there. Traction tires and a coupler. I'm going to lift this out here, remove some padding. Now this has a very glossy finish to it, so you may have a few fingerprints if you're not careful. And man, the weight on this is insane compared to what we're used to in HO. Alright, let's go over some of the details of this engine. The first thing you may notice on the Pilot is there's a dummy coupler here, so you can turn that around and extend the dummy coupler or cover it up so the Pilot's nice and neat there. Front deck with LED lighting, 4014 shield on the Pilot, flying number boards, a metallic bell that moves, front deck area there. You have a smoke box door. You don't see this on HO, that opens up and reveals the inside of the smoke box. Pretty neat. I'll try to get a different setting so we can see the inside of the smoke box real quick. There gives you a small glimpse of the inside of the smoke box, but there are some wires, but outside of that you can see some prototypical details as well. Right below the number boards you can see the classification lights and the builder's plates on the side of the smoke box there. Alright, now we're at the center. You can see the sand and boiler domes, safety valves that have nice brass fittings, and the walkway along with the handrails for the crew access on the side. Taking a look at the side rod detail now, you can see how intricate that is on the side with a 4884 configuration. 8 drivers there in the center of the locomotive. Firebox, you see lots of rivet detail. You do see ash pan drop knobs here and here. These control ash pan flow, and the ash pan's installed. Now on the actual 4014, they removed that and converted it to oil. Lionel did accurately represent the tender with an oil tender there. But there is also a Sinclair antenna up top, which is on the cab roof, which is on the cab roof of the real thing as well. A little bit of packing material there. And there's also a cab roof vent that you can position open or closed. Into the cab, you can see 4014 is on the floor in there. You have 2 figures positioned inside as well, and the cab curtains on the back. There's a little better shot of the cab. You can see the gauges. There's also firebox flicker coming through the butterfly doors there. You can see on the left side of your screen. Here's with a few more lights off. You can see the inside. There's the butterfly doors and the firebox flicker. Then you transition to the tender silver trucks, and the axle caps on the trucks and on the trailing trucks of the locomotive, just like on the real thing. Rear of the tender has marker lights and a rear headlight, or tail light you want to call it. It's white, the marker light's red. Along the side you also have the, I think they're called inspection lights or wheel lights. You can see them lit up here and here. And with O-scale you just have more room to do cool stuff like that. Now all of these lights that are on the side and in the cab will actually turn off once you get to a speed of about 25. Alright, we're going to go ahead and finally run this thing, so we'll start with an extended startup sequence.
Union Pacific 4014, do you read me? Over. Union Pacific 4014, I copy that. Over. Startup and standby. Over. Okay, let's get to work. Out.
So really good sound is one of the things I'm noticing from O-scale, because they got a lot more room to mess with. But there's the crew startup. You kind of have a little dialogue going on, getting things started up, and then you see smoke slowly start to come out of the smokestacks there. And one thing you'll notice on O-scale is a lot more smoke than HO. So the layout we're at right now has an air filtration system that kind of helps things out quite a bit, which is pretty ingenious. But that's the startup sequence. I guess we'll go ahead and listen to like the bell and whistle now. See, the whistle is a smoking whistle, which is just now starting to get an HO scale a little bit, but it comes right out of this area here, and it shows, you know, basically what's going on with the real locomotive, which is there's steam power coming through the whistle to be able to make the sound for, you know, alerting oncoming traffic of a grade crossing. Right now we're going to listen to some crew talk, some crew chatter, which is controlled on the Lionel Legacy remote.
Coupled up, air test complete. Can we depart to the main line? Over. Yes, 4014, you may proceed. Over. Acknowledged. I've got clear boards. 4014 out. 4014, you are cleared outbound. Over.
So there's a few...
Thank you much. Cleared outbound. 4014 out.
So there's a few different dialogues you can pick. You've hit an auxiliary button on the controller, and that'll allow you into another set of dialogue between the locomotive and the controllers. So another pretty cool feature of the locomotive. One cool thing is they have basically stereo speakers, so if you're blowing the whistle, the sound's going to come out of the speaker here, and then they also have a speaker in the tender back here. So not all of O-scale has that, but Lionel actually does it pretty well, because you're actually hearing the sound from the area of the locomotive from which it's coming. Now we're going to listen to the water hatch fill, which will actually come from the tender. And then we'll listen to the blowdown.
Full. Over.
Yep.
Copy that, 4014. Out.
Then we'll listen to the blowdown here. So pretty cool sounds. These are just some of the sounds that come from this locomotive. As you guys know, with my reviews, I just do kind of a quick rundown of a few of the things. O-scale, you know, kind of showing this to an HO scale audience, there's some things I want to mention. One is, if you're running MTH locomotives, you need an MTH controller. If you're running Lionel locomotives, you need a Lionel controller. You can use the MTH, I think it's pass-through mode, to kind of make those play together a little bit, but you basically need two controllers for them, and they're basically like our DCC controllers. They've got a lot of different settings. They're way cooler in my opinion, because the Lionel controller, for example, has touchscreen access here. So these are touchscreen, and equalable whistle and things like that. So pretty neat, but just something to be aware of if you want O scale. The other thing to be aware of, obviously, is you're going to need a lot of space to run these. Luckily, this is a huge basement. It would be a very large HO scale layout, but the owner has decided to go O scale for some reason. So we're going to show this slow speed control, and it's 1 out of 200 steps on the Lionel controller. So we'll just do 1 and show you how slow it is and how smooth it runs at 1. See the synchronized puffing smoke, obviously. They've got some built-in creaking sounds too, which is pretty cool. Alright, so that just shows you slow speed control. Then we'll go ahead and run this, at decent track speed, run through some tunnels and show you this beautiful layout. Alright, so here's a good angle of the whistle, and the whistle's coolable, so more intensity or more pull on this lever here, and you get more smoke coming out of the whistle. So there's a good view of just the whistle smoke. It was a little hard to see earlier, so I wanted to show that again. But let's get to running. Up the review of the Lionel Big Boy. It's a legacy locomotive. You saw a few of the details it has. There's a lot more we just didn't have time to cover. There's lit tail lights, or the lit rear lights, class lights that you saw as it entered the tunnel in this amazing layout. Speaking of this layout, if the volume was a little low, I apologize for that because we're technically not supposed to be here. Just kind of found a way to get into this layout without the owner knowing.
Hey! Who's down there?
Oh, it's Eric from Eric's Trains, I guess.
Hey.
Now he knows I'm here.
What are you doing at my house?
So, if you want to see an actual good review, be sure to check out Eric's O-Scale channel. It's mostly O-Scale. He dabbles in HO from time to time, but it's youtube.com/Eric's Trains. Does a way better job at editing and reviewing than I do this stuff, and has an amazing layout here. So I hope you'll check him out, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.
If you're looking for any of the great products in this video, check out your favorite retailer or shop online at trainworld.com. Trainworld has a robust supply of products to fit your modeling needs.